I've done so many of these I can't remember where I left off, so I'm going to the site view. When you click up here, you go to a default 3D view, and it's a quick way to see, sort of what you've done with the model. So we did exterior perimeter, whatever columns live in here. We cut out or cut into the exterior wall a provisional curtain wall with some mullion pattern. Let's go to the site view. A couple of other things that so we have drawings apparently of the rest of the place. You do need to do a simple topography for massing in sight. Don't be discouraged by that. It's very simple. I'm just placing 4 points at 0, 0, and that just forms the earth layer. So when I go to one of the elevations, I can see that my building sits on the ground somehow. So if you wanted to model the sidewalk, you would create another level that, for instance, represents the street. Might be level S, would be 6 inches below level 1, or that sort of thing, if you're interested in sort of modeling what goes outside. If you're doing another story, you need another level, so you create another floor for the building. I don't remember what that elevation is, but we can adjust it. So whatever you draw on level 2 now goes from level 2 to level 3. And we'll need the outline of the floor for level 2. We should have one for level 1 as well. So let's do it on level 1 and copy it to level 2. So we'll go to floor plan level 1. And I'm going to go architecture floor. We have some steps over here. I don't know what's going on. You guys can figure that out. That simply means that the elevation of the floor is a couple risers above. So why don't I draw that? I'll draw the floor with that outline. So I go architecture floor. Floor puts you in the sketch edit mode, which allows you to define the shape of that floor, the boundary. Again, things defined by the boundary. So I'm just drawing around the outline of these steps. And this drawing represents apparently, and there's some lift here that's supposed to get somebody from here. Citizen visiting the store would enter. That was confined to a wheelchair would enter one of these things. We're just going to draw right to it, right? Because everything is floor. Normally wouldn't go to the exterior face of the wall. You'd go to, typically, depends on the construction type. But we'll do that and adjust it later. That's a generic 12-inch floor type, so there's no stuff assigned to it. The floor itself has just a thickness of 1.0 and no structure, no layers. It's just default by category. So it's just going to give you a 12-inch thick floor slab with the shape that you've drawn and sketch edit. We might as well be consistent, bring these lines to, well, I don't want them exterior facing wall. Let's bring them to somewhere in the center. So the slab is aligned to the center of the bounding walls here. And finish edit. So if I cut a section through this, have I got any sections yet? No, not yet. The 2 sections. I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to cut a long section and a cross section. That should be a pretty revealing one. Normally you want to cut through vertical circulation. We don't have any yet. Drop something. I think there's a stair in the middle of this. It goes up to balcony around the perimeter. There's probably a drawing. Here's a drawing. Stair goes up the side. I don't know what's going on there, but it looks like the columns turn to something different there. But it looks like the same grid. I hope it is. Okay, cross section. Let's go to the section and see what it is that we're looking at. So, let's expand the viewport crop here. Okay, so that my cross section is showing me columns in elevation, sections through that wall, some stuff that I see in elevation that I've cut through at the storefront. Then my other section, whose symbol is here, I can also double click and go to it, showing me my section through the building. Level 3, I have it 28. Let's see if we can measure what that actually is somehow. I'm guessing this drawing is a drawing of the upper floor. So the upper floor is just punched with windows. So you just measure that window and stick them where they belong. Annotate. I'm measuring from the height of it's not clear what is the floor elevate. I think floor, it's the second floor starts at 15 feet, so I'm going to measure this height. So there ought to be a this is why you need good drawings. There ought to be a line. Let's make it a dotted dashed line. This line style is not showing up. Okay, so that's the outline of the floor, and I've drawn this to about 15 feet. That's what we've done. So we need another 1310. Let's measure overall. I didn't need to measure all that because I simply could have measured from the height of this whole assembly. You can also do this in SketchUp. 2810. So we had a good guess. Well, we're off by 10 inches. We're not trying to land somebody on the moon after all. So now you need a floor on level 2. I could copy that floor. I could go to one of the sections floor plan level 1. Let's hidden line mode so we can see our selections. So there's the floor slab for level 1. Copy it to the clipboard. Paste a line to level 2. Paste a line to selected level. I'm going to paste it on level 2 and level 3. So what effectively does that do? Go to your 3D view. That's what it does, right? It gives you floors all over the place. So now we need to modify the boundaries of that floor. You would edit the boundary of that floor to I'm just going to do very simply just draw a box inside of it. Right? What does that do? That effectively, always answer no to that. I don't know why Revit can't turn that feature off. So that creates an opening in that floor. And now we have a big flat floor at level 2, which doesn't need this insert, which apparently exists for the purpose of those 2 risers inside the store. So we could take the outline of this floor, edit that boundary, and simply connect up these 2 corners, and then get rid of this geometry in between. This is easier to draw in a plan view. I'm doing it here for illustration purposes so you can see it in the context of this. So there's the outline of the floor above. It's a simple rectangle. And I can copy walls from level 1 to level 2. I've already drawn them, right? So I'm just going to take these 2 because there's the only 2 that are the walls that mean in this corner don't repeat above. So I'm going to copy those to the clipboard and paste them to selected levels. Paste them to level 2 and 3, right? Some of the walls overlap because of the constraints. That's all right. You can fix them afterwards. Now, you don't want these curtain elements, so you'd probably delete them. Then you'd make these walls join in the corner and insert windows. So you would go architecture window, and then if you can't find a window that's the correct size, you would edit the type and make one. So if I needed a window that was, let me just go do that straight away. Go edit type, duplicate this window. If I wanted a window that was, let's say, 8 feet wide by 7 feet tall, let's just call it 8 feet wide by 7 feet tall, to be clear. You'd make the height 7 feet, and the sill, we'll leave the sill where it is. What did we say? 8 feet wide. Okay. Now we have this window type, and we stick it wherever it belongs. That's all you need to finish this, right? Oh, connect the walls. I assume you can do that. If you go to level 2 in plan, you can see that you have 2 walls that don't intersect, and you can either drag them until they do. All you have to do is And then go back to that view. See, you did that. I could even do it from here, but you don't want to be a cowboy. And well, let's try it. I went a little bit past it, but I can go to level 3 and fix it. Level 3 and just bring that back, and then they join automatically. You still have all this, these curtain wall stuff in here, which you'll delete and replace with windows, and then I think you're done. The sections are gonna. What else could you possibly need? Oh, there was a column grid on level 2. Let's go to site plans. Bloody drawings. Can't see it because. So take the columns on level 1, copy them to level 2, and make them, replace them with square columns. That's simple enough to do. And then the outline of the, you would edit the floor to correspond with this outline. Stairs are beyond the scope of what I'm doing right now, but I'm assuming you did that in construction docs. Very briefly, stairs are drawn from level to level, and if I were to draw a straight run, it would exhaust the number of risers if I automatically drew it like that. Keep in mind, if you're climbing more than 12 feet, you need an intermediate landing. Cheers.